Allegiance, a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, be seated. Roll call.
Mayor Chafee?
Here.
Ms. Cox? Here. Mr. Decker? Here. Mr. Girding?
Here.
Mr. Hill?
Here.
Mr. Jackson?
Here.
Mr. Zackwitz?
Here.
Mr. Ward?
Here. Okay, action on the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on November 7th, 2019 as posted.
Second.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Girding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Zackwitz?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion's carried.
Okay, no bids tonight. Public comment. Anybody wants to talk about agenda items only? Stand up, give me your name and your address.
Mary Dorchak, 163 Wildwood Road. To the Beaver County Times, what was that for? There's a bill on there, I'm sorry, for like $152 or something to the Beaver County Times.
That was to reschedule the meeting
Advertising.
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 Anytime we reschedule a meeting, we have to advertise in the paper.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, reports of council, public works to me. Clean Lock 57, took the docks out for the winter. Worked on the 2011 truck, put the spreaders on all the trucks. They picked up a new seat cushion for 2011. Been catching up on roadside mowing, doing some patching. Finished up digging down on Tusker Extension. Put a new light in the police department. Cleaned up the shop, fixed the garage door. We'll have to take a look at them garage doors. They're getting in a little bit of rough shape, so I mean that's something we'll look at next year, see how the budget goes. We took the 2000 truck down to Hills to get evaluated. I want $1,100 to fix it, so we're gonna hold off on that until I get some more information on that. And the 2011 truck is showing a check engine light. We took it over to the Andersons. It's showing an exhaust leak between the turbo and the muffler. So the guys are going to get that fixed, and we'll get that thing back in service.
What's the cost on that,
What's that?
for that turbo leak? Don't know.
I don't know. Hardly know.
Gasket in there, that's it.
What's that?
Just a gasket in there probably.
Yeah. So it'll be a minimal amount for the fix. So I'll get you guys up to date on this issue with down there at Hills. I'm not too thrilled about spending that kind of money.
What's
on
wrong with the truck?
The sensor, bad sensor, throttle, pedal sensor. So I'll get you some more information on that. So I'll let you know. The only other thing is we got the salt contract in from the COG. It's $84.25 a ton from Detroit Salt. So I need a motion to accept the salt contract.
Substantially down from last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I make that motion.
Second.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Girding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Zackwitz?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion's carried.
How many, the motion for the Beaver County called salt
No,
pump? It was
It was
100
over
and
100.
something,
Yeah,
7
it
or
was
something.
one-
What is, how many tons are we getting off of them?
We order
300. 300.
Yeah. All right, finance, Mr. Decker.
All right, we had our budget meeting at 7 p.m. We've been through it. This will be our third time through it. I believe we've all agreed that the numbers are good for 2020. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed 2019 budget and put it out for advertising.
Second.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Girding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Zackwitz?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion's carried.
Anything else, Rich?
And one last thing, I'd like to ask for an executive session to discuss the personnel matter.
Yep.
Pardon me?
That's right. Cookies and milk.
Anything else, Rich?
No, sir.
Legislative, Mr. Sakowitz.
Nothing this time.
Public Utilities, Mr. Jackson.
Nothing.
Public Safety, Ms. Cox.
I have nothing for the fire committee tonight. For the police committee, we spoke about the police department putting another dog pen in there instead of just taking them to the Humane Society. We actually have an Eagle Scout who might look at that as his project. So I'll keep everybody informed, how that's looking if we're gonna do that.
Any idea who that Eagle Scout is? Who was it?
Officer King?
I don't know a name.
Somebody who came forward when we had trunk or treat, so
Oh, it's Chuck.
I'll talk with Chuck, I'm sure
See what
Chuck.
we can do to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking into a price on a scanner, when it's universal, that can be, I'm not quite sure how all the, the chips go for the animals, but Officer Kane's gonna look into finding one that's universal and get a price. So that's our project for next year.
Now, on the dog pen unit, does that individual for the scouts pay for the materials and everything as part of this project, or do we have to pay for
We're in
materials?
the talking, I'm not sure.
Most of all those Eagle Scout projects that I've seen is the Eagle Scout himself will raise the funds to do the project by asking for donations and
Yeah,
such.
but most of them all do their own fundraising. That's why we've been helping the Eagle Scouts with the car cruises, or Vietnam veterans.
Just like when they went down and painted and stuff, we bought the stain and stuff like that, so.
Is there anything more on body cameras for the police?
No, we're looking into it, but we don't have any prices or any. And that's all I have tonight for the police committee.
Okay, Recreation, Mr. Hill.
Dogs are out.
Okay, you guys still working on your projects?
Yes, sir, we got it done now.
Okay. Reports of council, or reports of officers, Mayor.
Nothing tonight.
Nothing from the Secretary, Treasurer.
Treasurer's report's been submitted for acceptance for the month ending October 31st, 2019.
Make the motion to accept the treasurer's report for the month ending October 2019.
Second.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Girding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Zakowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion's carried.
Okay. Planning Commission, need a motion to approve the Bennick subdivision?
So moved.
Wait,
No, we already did.
no, that's still on there?
You did that 3 weeks ago.
That's 3 meetings now.
No, that's two.
Emergency
Yeah.
coordinator, nothing. First solicitor, Mr. Stepp.
Only thing I have, I'll advertise the proposed budget, and I was just gonna ask, that's at the same millage, right?
Yep.
You and Chair, okay. All right, that's all I have.
Good. Borough Engineer, Mr. Klein.
Only thing I have is we got you a copy of the new revised zoning based on Paul's comments. Whenever you get a chance to review it, and tell me when you're ready for it to head down to the county so we can, at that point in time, is when we'll put dates on the actual schedule. I didn't know if you were planning to hold a planning meeting this.
November? Or December?
December.
Yeah. We'll make sure we have one for December for this.
Okay.
So we'll go through it at planning, and you guys got that long to look through this thing and make sure you're good with it.
We got a couple more. We're gonna need, how many more for 20? We need 2 more copies at least for 20.
Okay, anything else?
That was it?
Okay. Nothing from the sewage enforcement officer, nothing from the tax collector, any unfinished business? Action on the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills presented on bill list number 11 and the following.
Second.
Ms. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Girding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Zakowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion's carried.
The ordinances, any communications? Any new business?
Yes, could I speak? I think it's time, no, I have to wait. Okay, go ahead.
One more. Public comment. Anybody wants to speak to council about
public
anything?
comment.
Stand up, give me your name and give me your address.
Okay, my name is Nettie Chafee, and I just have something that's really close to my heart that I wanted to talk to you about. My brothers over the years have done family ancestry, genealogy and whatnot, and we go to a lot of different cemeteries to look through the graves and whatnot. And it just really bothers me that the McLaughlin Cemetery, the St. Paul Cemetery, and the Cunningham Cemetery have no signs to say what they are. So I was wondering if it would be okay or possible for me to donate some signs to these 3 cemeteries. I've been working on finding out the history of them. I haven't really gotten a lot of history yet. My brother does genealogy, and I did contact him, and he did tell me that the Cunningham Cemetery used to be the John Cunningham Farm. McLaughlin Cemetery may have been started by Neil McLaughlin. And then the St. Paul's actually is, I don't know, the St. Paul's Church has dissolved as far as I know, so it's really nothing there anymore. So I don't know if it's still, like I talked to you today about being privately owned or whatever, or if I was going to have some kind of legal problems or something to do signs if they're privately owned. So I don't know if I can address this to your solicitor or not to see if there would be legal problems.
Well, I mean, as far as I think the borough, mows, maintains these cemeteries.
Yes, and they do a very good job.
Right.
Yes.
But as to, it's not, I don't know how they were originally established. As far as if you were wishing to put some designation on that, I don't know that actually the borough has any control of that ground. It could be researched as to the history behind that, but where they were established in that. But some of these, as far as they go along, the upkeep, whatever was arranged many years ago, when that extinguishes, then you look for the community to take care of that, and they have. Without doing any research at this point, I really couldn't address who has the ownership or where that all came. I'm sure that there can be some study done as far as the history of that. But yeah, likewise, no one's coming forward to do any maintenance here. You put a sign, you put a sign on it, it's doubtful someone's going to come forth and say, hey, that's mine, you're not allowed to do that either.
I think they're all deceased.
That's what I mean.
The county possibly have gone through Brenda Applegate, historical research. Brenda Applegate and Charlie Townsend.
Charlie Townsend? Is he still living?
Oh, yeah. You're not that much older than me.
Well, I wouldn't have an objection if anybody else does. We're only talking 3 signs. Nettie, if you'd like to get some kind of design, bring it up here and let us take a look at it. I have no problem getting a couple signs for up there.
I wanted something metal, and I already talked to Sparks Fly, and you're willing to work with me on it. But I just wanted to find out the historical information first. Now, my brother did send me, he said, he gave me a site to go into, and I printed it out about St. Paul's, and it told about, St. Paul's Church and whatnot and everything. McLaughlin Cemetery, I can hardly find anything on it at all, but I know a lot of the McLaughlins did have a farm in that area because it's right across from where the Health Reach Farm, the Health Reach Farm?
Yeah.
So it was right there, and McLaughlin Run is right there, ran behind my folks' home,
St. Paul's is actually an industry borough.
Oh, it's an industry.
The church was in Fairview here.
Okay.
It's right around, approximately where the bend is, going back Ridgemont.
Yeah, I know where the church was, that's right.
Where the church was, okay.
Hackers built a house there now. Yeah.
And, but the cemetery itself is actually in Ohioville Borough. Now,
Yeah, that's what I
we do
mean.
have another cemetery in Ohioville, 4 Mile.
Yeah, the one's 4 Mile wide, I figure 4 Mile can take care of their own.
No.
No, they
do
don't.
it. Our guys do that church lot.
You're kidding me.
Right, I mean, I don't think it's right. 4 Mile Church is still in existence,
Yes,
and they should take care of it, I think. But
okay.
it's down over the hill there.
Yeah,
It's
I know
on-
where it's at
well,
too.
It's Seven Oaks property, but, because it's a historical site there. And our road crew does that, I don't know, 2 to 4 times a year, depending on what the weather's like. Because that is a Pennsylvania law. Abandoned cemeteries have to be taken over by the municipality.
Okay, well, they do a wonderful job. I mean, I am so pleased with the job they do at the McLaughlin Cemetery. It always looks nice when you go by there. And then my husband passed away 2 years ago, and I had been at Dawson Funeral Home, and I talked to Dyke, and I said, Dyke, there's a cemetery that our ancestors are all buried in, and their gravestones are all laying on the ground. So I talked to Dyke, and you know what he did? He sent his people out, and they raised 5 stones up. I don't know if anybody goes to that cemetery or not. He did that out of his own good heart. He raised them up. It was Daniel Diebold Dawson, who was my grandfather's brother, and he raised them all up. So that was done. And I noticed that there had been a lot of brush and everything in that cemetery, and it's all been taken care of. It just looks so nice, and I just feel I need to have a sign there so people know what it is.
Which
you know?
one?
Why don't you do the work, do some research and make sure
Okay.
nobody objects to it, and I'm pretty sure we've no objection to getting some signs made and get them put up there.
Yeah. And
I'm willing to help you. I'll help you look up some stuff.
Could
You
you?
remember Dick
Okay.
Rice?
yeah, I know, Dick.
I have
Well, I
a
knew-
packet that he left me that has a
Really?
lot of info in it. So I'll go through
Good.
that, and maybe we'll sit down one night and we'll.
Okay, that'll be good.
We'll make it happen.
Okay, all righty, sounds good. So I have to go. Now, I just wanted to say one more thing. I wanted to put on the back of it, donated by Chafee Excavating. Is that okay, or is that
You're
not,
paying
is
for
that
it,
an
yeah.
advertisement, or
If you're
what?
paying for them, I don't care. I'm paying for them, you're not.
If I want to put that on there, so, but I do feel we need something like that. I'm just weird, I know.
All right, anybody else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Mike Daniels, I live on Smithsbury Road. I wanted to comment on, at the last meeting, council meeting, there was a gentleman here who spoke about zoning in his community. I believe he said he lived in Raccoon, and if I'm not mistaken, he said that First Energy was planning an expansion there and bought property in order to do that. And I'm pretty sure I'm quoting him accurately whenever he said that the only thing that saved them was zoning, that expansion. And so after I thought about it, I thought, well, I'll try to be open-minded and think about that. And I just want to make this comment, that, 10 or 15 years from now, whenever his kids or the grandchildren are looking for jobs, and they have to maybe move to wherever First Energy actually did expand, because if they needed to expand, if they don't expand this location.
That expansion was for the lake,
For the,
for the lake, for the fly ash lake.
Little blue.
Little blue.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I looked at it as expansion, as far as, to be, if the plan goes very, I'll say this. When, I look at the zoning ordinance as proposed, as certainly anti-business. Whether that particular circumstance fits that or not, I definitely feel that it's anti-business, and we need jobs in this community. So, that's my comment.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, ask for adjournment.
So moved.
So